Hey guys, welcome back to Ivy Crypto. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. It is the beginning of July, which means we are in a new financial year and it is time to do your taxes for the 2020-2021 financial year. And I'm going to show you two of my favorite websites that I use personally to do my taxes. Now, I've been in crypto for a little while, and something that I always struggled with, especially living in Australia, is understanding how to do my taxes, how to gather all the transactions and trading that I've done, all that sort of stuff. So this is not a sponsored video, and I am not a financial advisor by any means. These guys have not paid me to make these videos. I just wanted to get the information out there as I didn't find many videos that were helpful to me personally. So the two websites I'm going to show you today are Koinly and CoinTracking. Both offer very similar services. I do find one a little bit easier than the other to use. However, I actually personally paid for both of these to get a tax report and a capital gains report, just so for when I was doing my tax, it was a little bit more accurate. I personally don't like owing the government any money at all, especially in Australia. They're quite tight on it. So I'm just going to take you guys into these two, talk about the features, talk about what I like each of them, and briefly show you my dashboards. Now, I have imported some data just to show you guys how it works from some of my smaller exchange accounts. So Koinly here, crypto tax report in under 20 minutes. So you make an account. Now, I'm not going to take you through the sign up process, but it is quite simple. You sign up, they send you a verification email, you put your information in. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can import the data onto these platforms. Now, they're both quite similar. So you can download the data from places like Binance and Coinbase and Coinspot and all these other exchanges and into an Excel spreadsheet and just submit the Excel spreadsheet. Or the way I did it is you can give them access through the API codes on these exchanges. I do recommend Googling whichever exchange you're using, making sure it's compatible with these platforms, and then integrating the data that way. So a couple of things with Koinly. So there's some different levels here that you can choose. Now, you can have a free one, and what this does is it gives you a sample of what they think your capital gains are going to be and all that sort of stuff, but it won't give you a report that you can take to your accountant. Now, it is really important to note, guys, that if you do have a job, so if trading or buying and selling crypto isn't your only form of income, I very much urge you to get one of these reports and take it to a tax agent, because I'm not sure about other countries, but in Australia, your crypto gains go on top of your wage. So typically it does catapult you into a new tax bracket depending on how much money you've made for that financial year. So I wouldn't use this as your only form of doing your taxes depending on your situation, but that is my recommendation. Get one of these reports. I personally go for the cheaper one because I also have to spend money on an accountant, but it's up to you. So there's obviously different tiers here that you can pick from depending on what features you're looking for. They are all quite similar, minus a few here with the free one, but what you will see with the free one is you don't get any of the reports. You only see a preview, which I'll show you shortly, but it does start from $49 a year. This is USD, so for Australian converts to about $65, which I thought was quite cheap, and that is for a maximum of 100 transactions. So if you have between 100 and 1,000 transactions, you will need to go for the $99. Again, guys, if you've made a decent gain from crypto, don't guess. Don't try and do it yourself. Definitely pay and get the report done. So this is for a hodler, and then you have a trader. So obviously if you're doing more than 10,000 transactions, $179 USD for the year, and you get the full buffet here. So this is what the Koinly dashboard looks like. As I said, I did put in some of a smaller crypto account. You can see here my biggest gains came from Cardano, ETH, Anchor, and VET, on a bit of a loss for some of these other ones. And some of these losses are also because I've transferred the funds out, or I've used, or I've sold too early, or whatever the case may be. But as you can see here, the total value of this particular wallet is 11,743 Australian dollars, a cost basis of $6,534, leaving an unrealized gains of $5,209. So this account is still very much open. It's still an account that I use, but it says here I had realized gains of $1,455. 3,036 of those is money that I've actually sent. So what that means is I've used this account to buy some sort of crypto, typically BNB or ETH, and I've sent it somewhere. So I've sent most of that to MetaMask or Trust Wallet or one of those to buy some of those smaller altcoins. So I haven't actually realized the gains. I've realized these gains. So this is what the Koinly dashboard looks like. I do have some of the reportings. I won't bring that up right now, but what I will say is I personally prefer Koinly. I think it's much more user-friendly. It's definitely a nice, clean looking website. The costs are quite cheap. If you're an entry-level type user, $49 is quite reasonable. And like I said, super user-friendly, pretty easy to understand. It really breaks it down for you. And there's, you've got all the tabs up here where you can go into your wallets, you can go into your transactions, and you got your tax reports right here. So you can see if I were to go, I'll just sign in here. If you were to go into the tax report, then you'll have a full summary here, home country, base country, all this sort of stuff. So you can pick a report, and there's all different reports that you can buy, sell, transaction history, expenses, gifts, donation and loss, income report, capital gains, etc., etc. So depending on what report your accountant tells you to get, I think Koinly is a great starting point. It definitely gives you a much better idea of what sort of capital gains you've made. The next website I want to show you guys is CoinTracking. Now, CoinTracking has fairly similar pricing, slightly more expensive. So the cheapest plan here is the Pro, and that works out to be roughly 120 USD per year. That does give you a bunch of different features that are similar to Koinly, but up to 3,500 transactions. So for something similar, you'd probably be looking at the $179 plan, although that's up to 10,000 transactions. So I guess if you're a pro but not an expert and not a super trader, then this package is quite decent. It does have different formats for the spreadsheets and whatnot. This is the one I've personally chosen. Again, I did want to use this to show you guys what the platform looks like and all that sort of stuff. So here you can see what the dashboard looks like. This is another one of my crypto portfolios that I've used for the sake of this video, and you can see here what sort of movement I've had, the total value, what percentage I'm at, the total account value in terms of gains, all that sort of stuff. So again, these are some of my smaller accounts, most of which I use for videos and to help people out that are starting out in crypto and all that sort of stuff. So trades per month, all that sort of stuff. You will see that my trades did dip quite low after April. That's when we started seeing the crypto markets go a bit down, and it was coming closer and closer to tax time. So I didn't want to do as much trading, knowing that obviously in Australia it does go on top of your tax. Similar coins that I've been trading in this one have some different ones, but you can see here the 24-hour trend, the price, the value, all those sorts of stuff. So you can see a timeline here where what I've actually been doing, upgrading my account, purchasing all these sorts of things. So again, I do like CoinTracking, but it is a little bit different and personally a little bit clunky compared to Koinly, and maybe not as user-friendly, but you definitely have heaps of options here in terms of reporting, realized and unrealized gains, which I'll show you a chart of shortly. I did download a PDF from this, as I said, and this is what the realized and unrealized gains breakdown looks like. You've got all your cryptos here along with whether you've had realized gains or not. So on this account, I've got 529 capital gains that I would have to pay tax on. Bearing in mind, guys, I don't really trade. I wouldn't say I'm much of a trader because in Australia you do have to pay capital gains on trading, on staking, on all different sorts of things. So I am very cautious of that, and I don't tend to trade. Typically, a lot of these gains that you'll see here on both of these are me transferring money to the likes of MetaMask and Trust Wallet, and so that does count as a gain. So obviously if I bought Ethereum if I bought $500 worth of Ethereum and 2 weeks later it's worth $700 and I transfer that $700 out to Trust Wallet or MetaMask, I have to pay capital gains on that $200, and that's what would show up as a gain on a report like this. So because of that, I don't tend to trade much, but I did want to show these two accounts in particular for the sake of this video. Alright guys, so before we go into pros and cons, the links to both of these will be in my description of the video, my CoinTracking ones first, followed by my Koinly, as well as some other links there, socials, all that sort of stuff. But definitely go into the bio, check out one of these, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Do you use either of these, or are you going to use these now that you've seen this video? If so, come back, let me know how you found the platforms and the websites, and obviously share some capital gain stories if you like. Now, like I said, my personal preference is Koinly. I just think it's sleeker, well priced, has a bunch of different options depending on your trader level and all that sort of stuff. So that would be my personal pick. But again, both of those are great options, can be used worldwide. Now, if there is any people watching this from Australia, tune into the rest of this video. I just want to talk quickly for about another couple of minutes. But if you're not from Australia, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. If you're in Australia, guys, it's really, really important that we talk about something. The ATO this year is going to be on an absolute tear for cryptocurrency gains. So it's really, really important that you use either one of these websites or some method of tracking your capital gains and declaring them, because they are connected to Coinspot, they are connected to Binance, they're connected to pretty much all the major crypto exchanges. And not just that, the ATO does link up with our bank accounts. So one way or another, they are going to see these gains, and they may not get you this year, but eventually you will get caught, and it is just not worth it. I don't work for the ATO, I don't even work for the government. I don't like paying taxes as much as the next person, but I'd rather just get it over and done with. And it is something that I take into account with my investments of when to take them out, knowing that I have to pay the capital gains. Now, the only way that you can avoid paying capital gains, despite what you will hear, and this is after a very lengthy conversation with my accountant, the only way you will avoid paying capital gains is if you use cryptocurrency as a currency, as a method of buying things to obtain goods or services. That is the only way that you will be able to avoid tax, and typically that is only up to $10,000. If you have crypto to gain money, whether you sell it or you gift it or you transfer it to a cold wallet, whatever it is that you will do, that is counted as a gain, and you will have to pay tax on it, capital gains. That includes trading, that includes staking, that includes all those things. Now, bearing in mind, some of these smaller altcoins like the Axions or the MITXs of the world that you stake on some random website that the ATO probably knows nothing about, they're very unlikely to know about those staking rewards. But in general, if you're using one of the major exchanges or one of the big wallets to stake, they will find out about it, guys. So I am going to link this in the bio for you guys to go read directly from the horse's mouth exactly what would entail capital gains. And just remember, any gains, whether it's from stocks or from cryptocurrency or from any investment, are added onto your salary. So if you make $100,000 a year and you make a gain of $50,000, your tax bracket is in the $140,000 plus tax bracket, and that is for your entire earnings. So that's why I say keep an eye on this throughout the year. Be careful what you trade, and be careful when you take it out, because even though you may get an average salary with your crypto, that's going to completely bump your salary and make you into a higher bracket and make you pay more tax. So just something to be aware of, guys. Read the info, speak to an accountant. Don't listen to the people on YouTube. Don't listen to the people on the Facebook groups or anything like that. I've had some crazy theories out there about taxes. But, unfortunately, we do have to pay our taxes, and that's just the reality of the world we live in. As always, guys, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment with your thoughts. And as always, guys, watch this space.